Hello, this is Marilyn Fonte and welcome to lesson 3, week 3 of balancing chakras using aromatherapy and art. This week we come to the solar plexus chakra, and that's the chakra of our personal power. So it's just below the sternum, and it's actually this energy center here. And what this chakra means is how we embody our power within ourselves and how we relate to others. It's also responsible for self-worth and self-esteem. It's also the place where we connect with others. So sometimes if you meet someone you're not too sure of, you'll feel it in your gut, your solar plexus. And a good way to work with this is to just cover that area and, sort of like just cover that area from that person. So it's really good. It's also a place where we connect with other people. So psychically and emotionally, this is the area where we would connect, as well as the heart. When this is overactive, we become aggressive, we could become a bully, we can be quite domineering. Because it is, again, its element of the solar plexus is fire, and it's related to the sun. Again, if you've got issues with self-worth, this is the area that needs to be strengthened. And it's really interesting because this is my challenge as well. I mean, I had the sacral chakra, I said to you, but this is the major challenge for me as well. Being a Leo, my element is fire, and I'm a child of the sun, connected to the sun energy. It's but the challenges are it's keeping my chakra balance. So I'm kind of like, will have to alternate between being really confident, strong, not being too overconfident, too domineering, and also having a loss of personal power. And what I found is that whenever I used to get into relationships, to kind of suppress my personal power, I would be not passive, but I would kind of give the power over, especially romantic relationships. And it was almost as if I didn't want to stand in this powerful place, because I didn't want to be labelled as aggressive and too strong black woman, and all the negative connotations that comes with being powerful. So I try to be really nice. But what happens is, if you look at, the heart chakra being closed and not allowing abundance to come in, and you look at the sacral chakra, they're secondary colours. So they're colours of two other colours. So orange is red and yellow, and green is yellow and blue. So those chakras were obviously compromised with the other things going on. So what I realised was that I had to engage my solar plexus and really stand in my power. It's an ongoing thing, because the Kundalini yoga experts, actually, a couple of them say you always have to work on this chakra because it's constantly closing and opening at will. And the DVD I recommended on the A store is really good, Anna Brett and Ravi's Introduction to the Chakras, because they kind of talk about this more in depth. But it's really, really important that this area is strengthened, and the colour is yellow, as you can see. I've got my yellow candle. What I've also got is a daffodils, because it's coming up to spring, and for me to kind of honour my personal power, I actually bought these little bulbs, and it's for me is strength. It's growing through the heart because this is green, and when the daffodils grow, it's going to actually be part of myself that's growing. Because of recent, I had some challenges which impacted. So again, when you have challenge, it's either going to go into your womb area or your solar plexus, like a shock. So it's really important to strengthen that area and work with the area constantly. Again, what we can use is the yellow oils. Geranium is excellent for this. Lemon, sandalwood. You have the list on the PDF as well. Again, you can just apply it to this area clockwise. And again, it's about having your boundaries. Like with the sacral chakra, it's about having your boundaries. So it's about constantly pushing out your boundaries, your hands. So that's a good exercise. I'm strong, I'm centered. It's a place of courage. It's the place of will. So it's where our will lives inside of us that is strong. When we're weak-willed, this area needs to be strengthened. When we're strong-willed, we need to kind of have a balance. But sometimes strong will is not too bad, because you need to have that strength of will to be able to support yourself and overcome any challenging situations. Also, again, if you've experienced an abusive relationship, you have to have a strong will to get out of that. So courage has to be developed for you to have that. Again, I mentioned about Caroline Mace talking about not being able to have good intuition unless you have self-worth, and that's because you need to listen to your own judgments. And this solar plexus chakra is the one that's affected. And whenever you follow your intuition and it works out for you, you'll strengthen this area. Another issue, I was in a job I really hated. I wanted to become a holistic therapist, and my sacral chakra issues were compromised on my route because my family was saying, no, you can't do this, you can't leave your job, you have to work, and I had a mortgage to pay for, and I felt that I just couldn't take any more, and I'm going to step out, I'm going to have this courage. And something inside me, because I was away from the environment, I was able to kind of develop myself, and I started to meditate and be around people that made me feel good, and so that in turn helped me just to leave. I didn't have another job to go to, but it helped me leave. And the next week I was teaching, so I went from an admin assistant to a teacher, and that really strengthened that area for me for a time. Obviously I had to work on it again, but when you follow your decisions, you strengthen your self-worth. But another thing that's really important is that sometimes we have to stay in places for a while to learn how to be resilient. And sometimes we have to stay in places to learn our worth does not come from outside of ourselves. So it doesn't come from our job. And that's what I've had to realise. For me, doing this work, I love doing this work, but this does not determine my worth. My worth has got to be something that comes from inside, regardless of whether I'm doing this job. But what feeds me is being in a beautiful environment, is being in nature, is having some accountability, or most accountability for myself. But in terms of work, there's some areas where I may not like to be doing specific things in work, but it serves a purpose while I'm doing it for a time. I'm having to do it because it will enable me to get more clients or get more work or work with other people. So sometimes you have to go through these things, but knowing that your sense of self-worth is not determined by what you do. And that's the problem we have, especially when we start a new career. We determine ourselves, especially therapists, we determine ourselves through how good we make other people feel. To me, that's lovely. I do love feeling like that. But it's really important that it's not just about me feeling good from externally. It's me lighting that sun within. And that's what we're going to do in terms of our meditation today. Is we're going to do a solar meditation. We're going to connect with the sun energy, the life force. Because without the sun, nothing can live really. We need the light of the sun, as well as we need the darkness, which was a sacral chakra. But we need the energy of the sun to project our manifestations forward. So this is what we're going to do. Again, I know I've seen some amazing drawings from the participants, and it's been amazing. I'm really pleased with the progress that's been happening with you all. And so now what I suggest is to strengthen the solar plexus chakra is, if you really have a boundary issue, is kick aerobics. For 6 weeks is really good. Kundalini yoga is excellent, journey through the chakras. Yoga again, positions. Crunches is really good, strengthen the area. Qigong is amazing as well, that will strengthen this area. And meditation, just connecting with that part of you, that power center, really connecting. Because when we start moving up to the heart and we're looking at heart desires, we need this chakra to be activated. so we can move forward. So I'm going to take you through solar meditation, and after the meditation, what you're going to do, you're going to be using your journal again and journaling. Remember, there's no right or wrong way. This time, because the sun is expansive, you don't have to do a mandala, just do your drawings. Some people are just doing drawings, which I think is excellent. But what I want you to do is just be guided by this solar energy, this chakra. Let it guide you in what you need to do. If you need to move, do this. If you need to express yourself, do it. Because I think it's really important that you really expand yourself with this. If you find that you're too expansive, then you might need to contain. So again, to balance in, your chakras is work with the opposite. Okay, what's the opposite of yellow? You have the colour wheel, which is the blue. So I think it's a blue anyway. It's bringing it in. It's bringing that in. So what we're going to do is, again, another thing you can wear, the colours will really help. So we're going to do our solar meditation till next week. Namaste. If you don't know what namaste means, that's another project for you to